I stare at my father's Instagram post, my fingers trembling against the phone screen. 247 comments already, each one a digital knife twisting deeper into my gut. When one daughter makes you proud, and the other one makes noise. Blessed one and all family life. The post shows Brooke holding her acceptance letter to Stanford, beaming next to our father. The second photo is me at my band rehearsal, caught mid-song with my mouth open, eyes closed, deliberately unflattering. I'm Adelaide, the twin who makes noise. Delete it, I whisper, but the words barely escape my throat. The grand dining room suddenly feels airless, despite the cathedral ceilings and expensive art pieces Mother loves so much. Father adjusts his tie, not bothering to look up from his tablet. It's a celebration post for Brooke's achievement. The contrast makes her success more impressive. The contrast? My voice cracks. You mean humiliating me? Adelaide, darling, Mother interjects, arranging flowers in a crystal vase like nothing's wrong. You're being dramatic. It's just social media. Brooke stands in the doorway, her acceptance letter crumpled slightly in her grip. Dad, maybe Adelaide should focus more on her grades and less on that garage band nonsense, Father cuts her off. Then perhaps I'd have something worth posting about both my daughters. The room spins slightly. I grip the edge of the mahogany table, my knuckles white against the polished wood. 2 decades of these little cuts, these casual cruelties dressed up as parental concern. Each one catalogued, filed away, feeding something dark and hungry inside me. I have a gig tonight, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. At the basement. Absolutely not. Father finally looks up, his steel gray eyes narrowing. You have calculus homework to complete. Your last test score was embarrassing. I got an 87. Exactly my point. Brooke got a 98. Brooke shifts uncomfortably. Dad, that's not fair. Life isn't fair, sweetheart. That's why we push ourselves to excel. He turns back to me. No gig. End of discussion. I pull out my phone again, open Instagram. My hands aren't shaking anymore. Fine. Then I'll just share some interesting stories about how you acquired Thompson Tech last year. I'm sure your followers would love to hear about those late-night meetings with the SEC investigators. The room goes deadly quiet. Mother's flower arrangement crashes to the floor, water seeping into the Persian rug. Father's face drains of color, then floods red. Where did you hear about that? His voice is dangerous, low. I hear lots of things, I say, surprising myself with how calm I sound. Maybe if you spent less time trying to control my life, and more time covering your tracks, I wouldn't know about the offshore accounts either. Brooke gasps. Mother starts gathering broken glass, her movements frantic. Father stands slowly, his 6'2" frame casting a shadow across the table. You're grounded, indefinitely. Hand over your phone. I take a step back, clutching my phone tighter. No. Adelaide. Touch my phone, and tomorrow morning your board members get an interesting email. I've already set it up. I haven't, but he doesn't know that. I'm playing tonight's gig, and you're going to delete that Instagram post. We stare at each other across the dining room. For the first time in my life, I see something new in his eyes. Fear. You wouldn't dare, he says, but there's uncertainty in his voice. Try me. I turn to leave, then pause. Oh, and Dad, next time you want to post about your daughters, remember, I'm not just noise. I'm an echo. Everything you do comes back eventually. I walk out, leaving behind shattered glass, spilled water, and the first cracks in my father's perfect world. Brooke catches my eye as I pass, and for a moment, I see something like admiration in my twin's face. This isn't just about music anymore. This is about payback. And I'm just getting started. The stack of textbooks lands on my desk with a thunderous slam. Advanced calculus, molecular biology, economic theory. Father towers over me, his shadow stretching across my bedroom wall like a prison bar. Your new study schedule, he says, sliding a color-coded spreadsheet toward me. 6 hours daily, monitored through the webcam. I've already cancelled your band practices for the next month. I scan the schedule, my throat tightening. This leaves no time for... That's the point. He taps the spreadsheet with one manicured finger. You want to play games with me? Let's play. I can make your life very difficult, Adelaide. The threat hangs between us like poison gas. I think of my guitar, hidden at Ethan's house after last night's gig. At least he can't take that away. What about my college applications? I ask, keeping my voice steady. Music programs require performance submissions. Already handled. I've submitted applications to business schools. Your sister's helping with the essays. My head snaps up. Brooke wouldn't. Already has. He pulls out his phone, shows me an email. There's Brooke's name, attached to perfectly crafted personal statements about my passionate interest in corporate finance. The betrayal hits like a physical blow. After last night, I thought. But of course, perfect Brooke, Daddy's perfect puppet. You can't force me to attend. I can cut off your trust fund, your car, your phone, your freedom. He leans closer, voice dropping to a whisper. And if you ever threaten me with my business dealings again, I'll make sure every music venue in this city knows not to book you. Money talks, sweetheart. And I have all of it. A knock at the door makes us both turn. Brooke stands there, pale and rigid. Dad, Mom needs you downstairs. Something about the charity gala guest list. He straightens, adjusts his tie. Remember our chat, Adelaide. 6 hours daily, starting now. The moment he's gone, Brooke rushes in, closing the door. Addie, I'm so sorry. He made me... Save it. I stand, shoving the textbooks aside. You chose your side. No, listen. She grabs my arm, her fingers trembling. The essays, they're terrible. Deliberately terrible. Full of red flags no admission officer would touch. I made sure... I freeze. What? I'm playing both sides, she whispers, eyes darting to the door. Dad's watching you, but he trusts me completely. I can help if you let me. Before I can respond, we hear footsteps. Brooke jumps back, raising her voice. So, yes, Adelaide, I really think you should focus on your studies. It's for the best. Mother appears in the doorway, her perfect smile stretched too tight. Girls, your father wants everyone dressed for dinner. The Thompsons are coming over. The Thompsons, the family whose tech company father acquired last year. My pulse quickens. Actually, I say, I'm not feeling well, might skip dinner. Nonsense, Mother chirps. Mr. Thompson specifically asked about you. Something about his son being interested in local musicians. I catch Brooke's subtle headshake, but it's too late. Father materializes behind Mother, his expression thunderous. Adelaide will join us, he says. Properly dressed, properly behaved. No discussion of her hobby. Later, as I change into an appropriate dinner dress, I find a note slipped under my door. Brooke's handwriting. Mr. Thompson's son, Jamie, knows things about the acquisition. Dad's nervous. Be careful. I stare at the note, pieces clicking into place. Father's insistence on my presence, his sudden escalation of control. He's not just punishing me. He's scared of what I might learn. I tuck the note away, a cold smile forming. He wants to play games? Fine. But he forgot something crucial. In chess, the pawn that reaches the other side becomes the most powerful piece on the board. Tonight, I'll play the perfect daughter. I'll smile, make small talk, pretend to be interested in Jamie Thompson's stories. And I'll listen. Very, very carefully. Because Father's right about one thing. Money talks. But secrets scream. Jamie Thompson's USB drive feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds in my pocket. 3 hours of forced dinner conversation worth every excruciating minute for this tiny piece of plastic that could destroy my father. He ruined us, Jamie had whispered during our carefully orchestrated kitchen encounter. Your father didn't just buy our company, he orchestrated its collapse. Hundreds of people lost everything. Now, at 3 a.m, I sit cross-legged on my bedroom floor, laptop glowing with damning evidence. Emails, financial records, board meeting recordings, a systematic dismantling of lives for profit. A soft knock startles me. Brooke slips in, still wearing her dinner dress. Did Jamie come through? I nod, unable to speak. She sits beside me, scanning the documents. Oh God, she whispers. The pension fund. Dad liquidated their entire retirement fund before the acquisition. 312 employees, I say. Some had worked there 30 years. Mr. Thompson's heart attack last spring. Wasn't just stress. I close the laptop, feeling sick. This is worse than we thought, Brooke. This isn't just about me anymore. She grabs my hand. We need to be careful. Dad's getting suspicious. I heard him on the phone earlier, hiring private investigators. Let him. I squeeze her hand back. I'm done being careful. Adelaide. A floorboard creaks outside my door. We freeze. Footsteps pause, then continue down the hall. Mother's sleeping pills aren't working as well lately, Brooke whispers. She knows something's coming. I heard her crying in the garden yesterday. The knowledge should satisfy me, but it just adds to the weight in my chest. Do you ever wonder if we're becoming just like him? Plotting revenge? Keeping secrets? No, Brooke says firmly. We're nothing like him. We're trying to make things right. My phone buzzes. Ethan. The studio's booked for tomorrow. Ryan's got the lyrics ready. You're really going to do this? Put it all in a song? Not directly, but people will know. The right people will understand exactly what I'm singing about. Brooke stands, smoothing her dress. Dad's hosting the charity gala next week. Half the tech industry will be there. If you're going to make a move, that's too soon. We need more time to... We don't have more time. She pulls out her phone, shows me an email. Dad's arranging to have you sent to a boarding school in Switzerland for intensive academic rehabilitation. The room spins. He can't. He can. The paperwork's already being processed. You have 7 days, Addie. 7 days to destroy a man who spent decades building his empire. 7 days to expose truths that could tear apart not just our family, but an entire industry. Help me, I whisper. Brooke's eyes widen. It's the first time I've ever asked her directly. Everything, she says. I'll tell you everything I know about his operations. But Addie, her voice cracks, promise me something. What? When this is over, when he's ruined, promise we'll still be sisters. The USB drive burns in my pocket. Somewhere upstairs, our father sleeps, probably dreaming of new empires to build, new lives to destroy. Our mother paces, swallowing pills that don't quite drown her conscience. And here we are, 2 daughters plotting in darkness, trying to save ourselves from becoming either of them. I promise, I say, and mean it more than anything I've ever said. Brooke hugs me fiercely, then pulls back. The Thompson acquisition records are just the beginning. Wait until you hear about the Singapore deal. She starts talking, and I start typing, and somewhere in the pre-dawn darkness, a plan takes shape. Not just revenge anymore, but revolution. Not just my voice, but the voices of hundreds who lost everything to my father's ambition. 7 days to change everything. The countdown begins now. I open a new document and start composing. Not song lyrics this time, but a manifesto. A declaration of war. Ready? Brooke asks. I think of Jamie Thompson's haunted eyes, of our mother's pills, of 312 destroyed lives. Ready? The recording studio feels like a confessional booth, dark and intimate. Ethan's fingers hover over the keyboard, while Ryan tunes his guitar, both waiting for my signal. The lyrics we've crafted sit heavy in my hands, every word a bullet aimed at my father's empire. You sure about this? Ryan asks, his calloused fingers pausing on the strings. Once we release it, there's no going back. I think of the Thompson files, of 300 ruined lives. Play it. The melody starts soft, deceptive. My voice joins in, weaving the story of corporate greed through metaphor and innuendo. Anyone who knows the Thompson tech collapse will understand. Anyone who's been crushed by my father's ambition will recognize their own pain. Halfway through the second verse, the studio door opens. Samantha, Brooke's best friend, slips in, her face pale. "Stop," she says. "Adelaide, stop recording, now." Something in her voice makes Ethan kill the track. "Your father's investigators," she says. "They're not just following you. They're tracking everyone. The band, the Thompsons, even me. They showed up at my parents' restaurant this morning, asking questions about our connection to you." My hand starts shaking. "Did they implied they could cause problems with our business permits, health inspections, tax audits." She swallows hard. "Your father's trying to isolate you, Addie. Anyone who helps you becomes a target." Ryan sets down his guitar. "Maybe we should wait." "No." The word comes out sharper than intended. "This is exactly why we have to do this. He can't keep destroying people's lives." "Adelaide." Samantha steps closer, lowering her voice. "There's more. Brooke. She's been admitted to the hospital." The world tilts sideways. "What?" "Anxiety attack. Your mother's telling everyone it's just stress from college applications, but..." She glances at Ethan and Ryan. "Can we talk privately?" In the hallway, Samantha shows me her phone. Text messages from Brooke sent last night. "Dad knows something's coming. He's making threats, not just about Adelaide anymore. Said he'll make sure neither of us ever work in this country if we try to hurt him." "I can't breathe, Sam. I can't." "She's protecting you," Samantha whispers. "Taking the pressure so your father won't look too closely at what you're doing. My sister, my twin, suffering because of my revenge." Back in the studio, Ethan and Ryan are packing up their instruments, their movements careful, deliberate. "We're with you," Ethan says quietly. "But we need to be smart about this. Your father's powerful, but he's also scared. That makes him dangerous." "What about the charity gala?" Ryan suggests. "We're already booked to perform. Perfect platform, captive audience." "And if it backfires, we all go down," Samantha interrupts. "My family's restaurant, their music careers, Brooke's future, then I'll do it alone." The words come out before I can stop them. "Release the song under my name only. Keep everyone else's names off it." "Addie." "No." I pick up the lyrics sheet, start marking changes. "I started this. I'll finish it, but I won't let anyone else pay the price." Ryan grabs my wrist. "You're not doing this alone. Look at what he's already done. Brooke's in the hospital, Samantha's family is being threatened, which is exactly why we can't back down," Ethan says firmly. "Your father's showing his true colors. Every threat, every attack just proves we're right about him." My phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number, a video link. With trembling fingers, I press play. It's security camera footage from Thompson Tech's final board meeting. My father stands at the head of the table, his voice cold. "Either you sell now, or I'll ensure every one of you ends up bankrupt and blacklisted. Your choice." Below the video, "More where this came from. You're not the only one he's hurt. Jamie Thompson, still fighting back." I look at my friends, my allies, their faces determined despite their fear. Think of Brooke in her hospital bed, trying to protect me, even now. "The song needs a new verse," I say finally, "about strength in numbers, about fighting back together." Ryan picks up his guitar. Ethan returns to the keyboard. Samantha pulls out her phone, starting to type. "What are you doing?" I ask her. "Telling your story? Social media's going to light up when this drops." She looks up, fierce and determined. "Your father wants to isolate you. Let's show him how connected you really are." We start recording again. This time, every note feels like a declaration of war. The video hits 1 million views at midnight. I watch the number tick up on my phone screen while sitting in Brooke's hospital room, the steady beep of her heart monitor, keeping time with my racing pulse. Corporate vulture is trending. My voice, my words, my truth, wrapped in metaphors sharp enough to draw blood. The comments section floods with stories from former Thompson Tech employees, each one a fresh wound in my father's armor. Brooke stirs, her hospital gown crinkling. "How bad?" "Bad enough. I show her the screen. Dad's PR team is in damage control, but they can't stop people from connecting the dots. He called again. She touches her throat, where anxiety left its marks. Threatened to expose your involvement with Jamie Thompson. Said he'd make it look like industrial espionage. A nurse passes by, casting a suspicious glance through the window. My father's people, watching even here. I lower my voice. Let him try. I've got... My phone buzzes. Unknown number. The text contains a single video file. It's security footage from our house. Mother in the garden, arguing with father. The timestamp shows last night. The audio is crystal clear. You're destroying this family, Michael. First Adelaide, now Brooke. I'm protecting us. You think I built all this by being soft? I think you're becoming a monster. And I think I should have left when... The crack of his hand against her face echoes through my phone's speaker. Brooke flinches beside me. A second text follows. Your move, Adelaide. How many more people get hurt before you stop? My hands shake so badly, I nearly drop the phone. He's using Mum against us. Addie. Brooke grabs my arm. There's something else. The hospital admission. It wasn't just anxiety. I found documents in Dad's study about the Singapore deal, names, dates, proof of... The door opens. Mother stands there, dark glasses hiding what I now know is a bruised face. Adelaide, your father wants to speak with you, now. I'm not... Please. Her voice cracks. Just listen to what he has to say. In the hospital corridor, father waits by the window, his reflection fractured across the glass. He doesn't turn around. Take down the video, he says quietly. End this childish revenge fantasy. Or tomorrow morning, Ryan and Ethan's families receive proof of their involvement in corporate espionage. Samantha's parents' restaurant fails its health inspection. And Brooke, he finally faces me. Well, mental health issues can seriously impact college admissions, can't they? The fluorescent lights buzz overhead, harsh and unforgiving, like his eyes. You'd destroy your own daughter's future. I'm preserving her future. Your little rebellion is what's destroying this family. He steps closer. You have 1 hour to delete everything. Then you're on a plane to Switzerland, non-negotiable. My phone buzzes again. Samantha. Health inspectors just showed up. They're shutting us down. Another message. Ryan. Someone leaked our demo to the press. They're calling it proof of conspiracy. Then Ethan. My dad just lost his job. What's happening? The walls close in. One by one, my father is crushing everyone I care about, just like Thompson Tech, just like every other life he's destroyed. But this time, it's my fault. I look back through the hospital room window. Brooke lies there, pale and fragile, while Mother hovers nearby, both casualties of my war. Tick-tock, Adelaide. Father checks his watch. 57 minutes left. Sometimes surrender is the only way to win. He walks away, leaving me alone in the sterile corridor with an impossible choice. Save everyone I love, or finish what I started. My phone lights up one last time. Jamie Thompson. Don't give up. We knew the cost when we started. So did everyone else. Some things are worth fighting for. Below his message, a link to new documents. The Singapore deal Brooke mentioned. Proof of something bigger, darker than Thompson Tech. I think of Mother's bruised face. Of Brooke in her hospital bed. Of all the lives already broken by my father's ambition. The video has reached 2 million views. Sometimes surrender is the only way to win, he said. But sometimes, the only way to win is to change the game entirely. I open my phone's camera and start recording. My name is Adelaide, and this is the truth about Michael Chen. No more metaphors, no more songs, just the raw, unvarnished truth, and let the echoes fall where they may. The charity gala sparkles with false promises and designer smiles. From backstage, I watch my father work the crowd, his charm a weapon as deadly as any blade. The Singapore documents burn in my phone, waiting to be released during our performance. 5 minutes, Ethan whispers, adjusting his keyboard. His hands shake slightly. Security's everywhere. Your father's people. Ryan tunes his guitar, eyes darting between exits. Last chance to back out. No. I grip the microphone stand. We finish this. A commotion near the entrance draws my attention. Brooke wheels through the crowd in her hospital chair, mother hovering nearby. They weren't supposed to be here. Father intercepts them, his public smile cracking slightly. Samantha slips backstage, breathless. Adelaide, stop. They've got everyone. What? Your grandmother's being held for questioning about tax fraud. Ryan's sister just lost her scholarship. Ethan's family's assets are frozen. She grabs my arm. Your father's gone nuclear. He's destroying everyone connected to you. The floor seems to tilt beneath my feet, but the Singapore files are useless. Father's voice cuts through the air like a blade. He steps from the shadows, flanked by security. Did you really think I wouldn't have contingencies? Every document, every recording, I've already spun the narrative. You're just a troubled teenager, lashing out with false accusations. The Thompson Tech evidence, a tragic misunderstanding during a standard business acquisition. He checks his watch. Right now, Jamie Thompson is signing a very generous settlement agreement, including a full retraction of his claims. My hands curl into fists. You can't buy everyone's silence. I already have. He moves closer, voice dropping. Your little revolution ends tonight. Either you go on stage and perform the approved corporate songs, or I finish what I started, beginning with Brooke's future. You wouldn't... Stanford's board of trustees includes 3 of my closest friends. One phone call, and her acceptance becomes a rejection. Then Mother's Charity Foundation loses its funding. Then your grandmother's retirement savings vanish. Shall I continue? From the stage, I can see Brooke in her wheelchair, looking small and vulnerable. Mother's sunglasses hide fresh bruises. All my fault, all my choices leading to this moment. 2 minutes, calls the stage manager. Father straightens his tie. Time to choose, Adelaide. Are your principles worth destroying everyone you love? Ethan and Ryan watch me, waiting. Samantha's phone keeps buzzing with news of fresh casualties in this war I started. The approved set list, Father says, holding out a paper. Corporate-friendly songs only. And afterward, you'll publicly apologize for your emotional outbursts and misunderstandings about my business practices. My throat closes up. Everything we fought for, everyone who trusted me, all of it crumbling under the weight of his power. 1 minute. I take the set list with numb fingers. Father smiles, victorious. Wise choice. Oh, and Adelaide. He leans close, whispering. After tonight, you're still going to Switzerland. But now everyone you tried to protect gets to keep their lives. A fair trade, wouldn't you say? He walks away, leaving me hollow. Ethan touches my shoulder. Addie, play the corporate songs, I whisper. Just play them. We take the stage to polite applause. Spotlights blind me to everything except the front row, where Brooke sits with tears streaming down her face. Mother stands behind her, one hand covering her bruised mouth. The music starts. Safe, sanitized corporate rock. My voice comes out mechanical, each note a surrender. Father watches from the wings, conducting my defeat like a symphony. In the crowd, I spot Jamie Thompson, his expression blank as he stands with his father. Both of them broken, just like everyone else who dared to fight back. The second song begins, and something inside me dies. This is how it ends, not with a bang of revolution, but with the whimper of submission. Every note another nail in the coffin of justice. Father was right. Money talks, and silence screams. I keep singing, each word tasting like ash. The revolution dies quietly under crystal chandeliers, drowned in champagne and compromise. This is what winning looks like for Michael Chen. This is what total defeat feels like for his daughter. The music plays on, and somewhere in the dark, the truth suffocates beneath the weight of power and privilege. Just another corporate success story. Just another broken dream. Just another echo fading into silence. The boardroom erupts into chaos when the Singapore files hit every major news outlet simultaneously. I watch from the doorway as my father's empire crumbles in real time, his face ashen as he stares at the projector screen displaying headline after headline. "Impossible," he whispers. "I controlled every copy, except the ones Brooke found," I say, stepping inside. "The ones you never knew existed because you were too busy watching me." The board members murmur, smartphones buzzing with notifications. Father's hand trembles as he reaches for his water glass. "This meeting is adjourned." "No." Jamie Thompson stands, his father beside him. "We're not leaving, not this time." Security moves toward them, but Mother appears in the doorway. "Michael, stop. It's over." Her sunglasses are gone, bruises visible to everyone. "I've already spoken to the SEC." Father's mask cracks. "Linda, what have you done? What you taught us to do." I pull out my phone, playing the recording from last night's gala. His threats, his admissions, his pride in destroying lives, all of it captured in crystal clear audio. "I learned from the best, Dad, about leverage, about power, about making people hurt." The boardroom doors burst open. Federal agents pour in, badges gleaming. "Michael Chen," one announces, "you're under investigation for securities fraud, corporate espionage, and witness intimidation." Father lunges for his laptop, but Ryan steps out from behind a potted plant, holding up a hard drive. "Looking for your backup files. Should have checked your IT department more carefully. Turns out not everyone can be bought." "You ungrateful." Father starts toward me but freezes as Brooke wheels herself into the room. "Tell them about Singapore, Dad," she says quietly. "Tell them what really happened to those families. Or I will." His face contorts. "Everything I did was for this family." "No." Mother's voice cuts like steel. "Everything you did was for your ego. And now our daughters are paying the price." The agents move in with handcuffs. Father's empire collapses around him in waves. Resignations, accusations, revelations. Each betrayal another brick falling from his carefully constructed walls. "Adelaide." He says my name like a curse. "You think this makes you strong? You've destroyed everything I built. You destroyed it yourself." I step closer, close enough to see the fear finally breaking through his armor. "I just made sure everyone heard the echo. Your trust fund, your future, are less important than the truth." I turn to the board members, the investigators, the witnesses. "Everything's been sent to your emails. 20 years of evidence. No more hiding. No more threats." Father struggles as they lead him away, his perfect suit wrinkled, his power evaporating. "You'll regret this. All of you will." "The only regret," Brooke interrupts, "is that it took us so long to stop you." Mother moves to stand between us, one hand on Brooke's shoulder, the other finding mine. For the first time in years, she stands straight, unafraid. The boardroom empties slowly. Jamie Thompson nods as he leaves, his father finally walking tall again. Ryan and Ethan slip away to handle the press already gathering outside. The agents take statements, collect evidence, dismantle the kingdom piece by piece. In the aftermath, I stand at the window of my father's office, my father's former office, watching his carefully orchestrated world unravel. Below, reporters swarm the building entrance. Phones ring unanswered. Years of secrets spill into the light. "Was it worth it?" Brooke asks softly, wheeling up beside me. I think of the Thompson families, of Samantha's restaurant, of every life he crushed beneath his ambition, of Mother's bruises and Brooke's hospital stay, of my own dreams he tried to silence. "Ask me in a year," I say, watching police cars pull away with our father inside. When everyone he hurt has a chance to rebuild. Mother joins us, her reflection in the glass showing something new. Hope. "What happens now?" she asks. I take their hands, feeling the weight of victory and loss, of endings and beginnings, of echoes finally fading into silence. "Now," I say, "we learn how to live without his shadow." Outside, The sun breaks through clouds, illuminating a world forever changed by truth, by courage, and by the unstoppable power of voices finally set free. The prison visiting room smells like industrial cleaner and regret. Father sits across from me in his orange jumpsuit, somehow smaller without his expensive suits and power ties. His eyes still hold that calculating gleam, even after 6 weeks of incarceration. "You look tired," he says. "Rebuilding a company takes work. Something about cleaning up decades of corruption." He flinches slightly. Outside, rain taps against barred windows. "Your mother filed for divorce." "I know." I rest my hands on the metal table. "Brooke's walking again. Physical therapy's working. Not that you've asked." His jaw tightens. "I received your song. The new one." Of course he has. The whole world has. Corporate Redemption hit #1 yesterday, its lyrics telling the story of fallen empires and broken families, of truth and consequences, of daughters finding their voices. "It's different from what I expected," he says carefully. "Less vengeful. Revenge wasn't the point, not anymore." He leans forward, chains clinking. "Then what was?" "Understanding." I meet his gaze. "I needed to know why. Why you chose power over family. Why breaking people became so easy for you. Everything I did was for control, not for us. Never for us." I stand, my chair scraping concrete. "The Thompson families are rebuilding. Mother's foundation is helping them, along with everyone else you hurt. Even Jamie's father is healing. And you?" Something flickers in his eyes. Concern, manipulation. Even now, I can't tell. "Are you healing, Adelaide?" The question hangs between us like smoke. Through the window, I watch rain trace patterns on glass, each drop an echo of choices made and prices paid. "I'm performing tonight," I say instead of answering. "The company's benefit concert for the Victims Fund. Brooke's introducing me. You always were stronger together." He looks down at his hands. "I should have seen that sooner." "Yes, you should have." I turn to leave, but his voice stops me. "The Singapore deal. How did you know where to look?" "I didn't." The truth feels like release. Brooke did. She spent years watching, learning, gathering evidence while playing the perfect daughter. Your greatest weakness was thinking she was just like you. Understanding dawns on his face, the final piece clicking into place. All this time, he'd thought I was the architect of his downfall, never suspecting that his favored daughter had been the one slowly dismantling his empire from within. "Give her my—" He stops, perhaps finally realizing how hollow words have become. Outside the prison, Ethan and Ryan wait in the band van. Samantha's there too, her family's restaurant thriving now that the truth is known. They don't ask about the visit. They don't need to. My phone buzzes. "Brooke." "Ready when you are." The benefit concert venue looms ahead, its marquee announcing Truth Echoes, a night of healing. Hundreds of people wait outside, former employees, affected families, supporters, all here to witness something broken being rebuilt into something better. "You okay?" Ryan asks as we unload equipment. I think of father in his prison cell, of mother finding her strength, of Brooke's quiet revolution that made everything possible, of revenge transformed into restoration. "Play the new arrangement tonight," I tell them, the one with the hope at the end. Inside, Brooke stands at the microphone, her cane barely visible in the stage lights. The audience falls silent as she speaks about truth, about family, about the courage to change broken systems. I step up beside her, our shadows merging on the wall. In the front row, Mother watches without sunglasses, her face healing inside and out. Jamie Thompson sits with his father, both nodding in quiet solidarity. The music starts, not a weapon anymore, but a bridge. Each note carries echoes of what was lost and what was found, of battles fought and prices paid, of revenge transformed into something deeper, something that might actually heal. Brooke squeezes my hand as I begin to sing. The truth echoes through the hall, through our lives, through the spaces between broken and whole. Some notes linger, some wounds heal, some echoes transform into new songs entirely. And in the end, that's enough.